Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Welcome, Prime Minister and the team. I'm going to ask everyone to remain standing. I'll ask you now to remain standing for the playing of the national anthem of Jamaica. The Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Honorable Darrell Vaz, Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, Mr. Peter Harron, Chairman of German Ship Repair Jamaica Limited, Mr. Charles Johnston, Deputy Chairman of GSRJ, Mr. Christopher Zaka, President and CEO of Sagicor Group Jamaica Limited, the Honorable Philip Paulwell, welcome sir, Member of Parliament for Kingston East and Port Royal, and it is worth to note that this property sits on two constituencies. One is for Kingston East and the other is for East Rural St. Andrew, whose the MP of course is Mrs. Juliet Holness. Honorable Delroy Williams, I'm not too sure if I've seen him come in yet. Permanent secretaries present, heads of agencies that are present, Velma Ricketts-Walker, Diane Edwards from Jampro, Robert Hill, Professor Gordon Shirley, Mrs. Claudia Grant, representing Admiral Brady from the Maritime Association. I think Kelly Dawn Hamilton did not make it from SEZA. But I know she's well represented here. Kenisha Campbell from the Hart NSTA Trust, representing the Managing Director. Professor Andrew Spencer from CMU, I'm not too sure if I've seen him here. I know I saw Cherise Walcott, the Commissioner of Lands, who are here. To the directors of German Ship Repair Jamaica Limited, Mr. Stephen Facey, Kim Clark, I know Chris Levy never made it, but I see he's represented by his father, Robert, Roger Hines, Trevor Riley, Clinton Lewis, and Vernon Douglas. Members of the Shipping Association of Jamaica, heads of other organizations who are here present, Jedreds Mierzewski, I'm always trying to pronounce your name correctly, sir, and your lovely wife, Bozino, welcome. Mark Williams of Kingston Wharves, Mr. Samir Ghosh of ZIM, and the other members of ZIM who are here present today. Welcome, sirs. Other partners, associates, agents, shipping agents, representing other shipping lines and other associations, welcome to you all. To the Harbor Master and members of the Port Authority of Jamaica, Mr. Cyprian Fuller, President of the Pilots Association, and all of the members of the association who are here present today. The members of my team from German Ship Repair Jamaica Limited. I am also extending that team to the members of Jamaica Freight and Shipping, who have kind of adopted in this case. And I'll go further to also proclaim as part of my team, Mr. Zaka, the team of Sagicor Bank Jamaica Limited, include Mike Willisey and his team who are here today. To all our friends and family, to all other distinguished guests, a very, very pleasant and warm welcome to you all to the future home of the GSRJ Shipyard, Jamaica. Excuse me if I kind of turn around every now and then just to check where I am at on the screen. So you are now sitting on a barge that is afloat here in the Caribbean Sea. And a lot of people have been surprised when I tell them that we're actually afloat right now. Okay, but don't worry, we have all the holes and things being worked on to make sure that there's no chance of any sinkage at this point. So we're here today I want to almost say it's a culmination of years of a lot of hard work that has been put in to making a shipyard in Jamaica a reality. But why a shipyard in Jamaica, one may ask? The truth is, why not? The truth is, we ought to have done this a long time ago. So a shipyard in Jamaica represents some very, very key points. First of all, this investment will aid the economy. It's going to be a huge investment for Jamaica and by Jamaicans into Jamaica to put Jamaica on the map when it comes to the shipping industry and the other associated works that we can do for such an industry. This is something that is really close to my heart, and that is to do with the training and employment of young Jamaicans in a very good artisan field to very high standards of welding and engine repairs, ship repairs. It is something that is not being, we are not there yet, but we have a lot of work to do. It will significantly contribute to Jamaica's growth because it is something that will attract new business, new shipping lines coming to Jamaica to be able to do the work that they so badly need in this territory. It ties in with the already being developed global logistics hub that we're trying to create as a nation. It represents a new industry for Jamaica with great opportunities for other spin-off businesses, hence even contributing more to the economy. And of course, Jamaica is in an excellent geostrategic location for hosting, for having a shipyard. And that is evidenced by this slide. This is a slide, a screenshot of a live tracking map for all the ships that traverse the region. In fact, the app gives you ships' position anywhere in the world, and I've obviously taken it to focus on our specific area. As you can see from this slide, there are literally hundreds of, and this is a snapshot in time. Okay? What that means is that we have these ships that are constantly going all throughout. The green represents commercial container vessels, and the red represents tanker vessels. There are also other colored vessels representing the different like cruise ships and so on. But the ones that are keen to us are the tankers and other commercial vessels. Mr. Murphy? Okay. So, within the region, there are a number of other shipyards. Some big, some small, and those are pointed out on the map. But based on the map that you just saw, and you would have seen the line of traffic, shipping traffic that is coming out of the Panama Canal, that Jamaica is right there front and center at the closest point and will attract the most attention for any shipping lines that will traverse through. And I've invited, our partners there representing the various lines to have a further discussion on what this can mean for us. So what happens in a shipyard? A shipyard is an area that we'll be able to provide dry docking capabilities for ships, for commercial ships that currently enters Jamaica's ports. And these are container vessels that you see every day coming into Kingston Harbor, and even ships that are going all around. In fact, if you look over to the right, to the gypsum quarry, there's a ship that is parked alongside. At the end of the day, we here at GSRJ Shipyard will be able to lift that ship out of the water to conduct many types of works on the hull, the propeller shaft work, engine repairs, and the entire 9 yards of that. So this is significant for us. As you can see on the screen, we'll do everything from electrical, welding, and I would like to make a point here. All ships are required by international maritime law to be dry docked, meaning lifted out of the water, to check for its safety and integrity once every 5 years. Right now, there are approximately 3,000 ships calls on Jamaica's ports every single year. And judging by the map that you saw earlier, there are upwards of 4,000 to 5,000 ships operating in the region on any given day. So it stands to reason why we need to be there. And because they need to be dry docked for what they call class certification, the standards of our people need to be that high to be able to do the work that is required. I'll now go through quickly the overview of how the project will be developed. So the first thing in developing a shipyard is literally to develop the physical infrastructure, the workshops, the property itself for the shipyard. The next thing is that it's the procurement of all of the big equipment that we're going to need to acquire to run a shipyard. So in the future, you'll see cranes, lots of forklifts, lots of heavy lift equipment and so on right here on this property. We're going to be acquiring what is called a floating dry dock, and that is going to be parked right off of this barge just behind me, and that floating dock is what is going to be used to lift the ships out of the water. Of course, that's the physical part of building a shipyard. There is also the need for all of the intangibles, the regulatory approvals to meet all of the requirements. And I want to pause here to thank all of the agencies who are here represented for the support that you have been giving us so far. And I'm proud to say we just got word from our Lycia Grant, who is here from SEZ, that our approval is about to come back to us within the next week or so. So thank you very much to the SEZ team. Of course, I mentioned before the training, and I'll speak a little bit more on this. This is critical to the success of the shipyard, and it's to build the training. And if, for those of you who know where I had been coming from prior to this, was running a training and development program for youth in Jamaica. And the Prime Minister knows how passionate that I am about putting more persons through the training, especially for something like this. And of course, last but not least, is the potential for the spin-off businesses. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give you a quick overview now of what it would look like in terms of the development and show you a little animated series if this thing will work. Okay, so this is an aerial view of the land, of the property, okay? And we are sitting right there on the barge at the moment. And as I said, it is afloat, yes, but don't worry, you're safe. The property itself consists of about 5 acres, split into 2 lots, of which we plan to build out in phases. So the first lot, phase 1, and of course phase 2, which is the property to the left as you came in. For the first phase build out, we will have the workshops and stores being built in the areas right behind us, considering all matters for safety, fire, the infrastructure lines, everything will need to be put in. We're going to utilize the barge as a bridgeway to get to the much, much bigger floating dry dock. And at the end of the day, we will have the capacity to lift vessels and have vessels alongside doing continuous work. Most likely, the type of work we're doing will require us to be working 24/7s. Once the ships are in, we're going to be at it for night and day type operations. In the future, for phase 2, we'll build out further workshops and acquire second and possibly even a third floating dock to increase the capacity, because we are quite certain, because ever since we started this project, we've been getting requests already by ship owners, by shipping lines, when our dry dock will be ready so that they can program to bring their ships here. And that is significant. So at the end of the day, we will have all of the facilities built out. We'll be employing approximately 100 persons, and these are just artist impressions of what the place would look like at the end of the day. We have multiple employment opportunities to very, very high standards in Jamaica. And we will eventually end up with more than one floating docks as we build out. We're looking to have state-of-the-art equipment and workshops being built. You know, we're doing something new. We may as well go and get it in the right way. So training. GSRJ had started some time ago, and we have done a certain amount of training. Some of the actual trainees are standing in the back of the room here now, that we have raised their standards of training for working on board vessels to very, very high standards. Some have even gotten to the international certification standards already. And it is our intent to continue with this program with the HART and CMU who are here present to build on this partnership further to get more people in for the training. We want to develop, Prime Minister, and you and I have had this discussion before, our own Jamaican model of apprenticeship. Our partners from Germany always talk about the German apprenticeship model, which is well known throughout the world. We're going to take the elements of that and modify it to our own Jamaican model of apprenticeship build-out based on what our needs and our requirements are. And this model is here. We have further discussions to do on it to be able to build it out. Prime Minister, you might remember some of these young persons in this photograph. So Mr. Peter Harron, Charlie Johnston, and the Prime Minister, I think that was about 2016, when you had sort of kicked off the idea behind this project. I know it was an idea that has been coming from at least 20 years prior, but this is when the real genesis of GSRJ itself started, and here we are today on this. So how can we, little Jamaica, run a shipyard? We know we can do it, but we have to do it with the right amount of support and guidance. And so German Ship Repair Jamaica is partnered, or the founding partners of GSRJ include the 4 main groups. The first one, of course, Harron and Partner Group out of Germany, represented, of course, by Mr. Peter Harron here. Jamaica Dry Dock, which has existed here for some time, with stalwarts from the shipping industry right here in Jamaica. There's the Kluska Group, and of course there's Hatsan. I'll tell you about each of them very, very briefly, because I know my time is running. Okay, so Harron and Partner has built up a worldwide network of shipping lines and ships all over the world. They own several ships. They now specialize in heavy lift ships. There are doers in the maritime world and well respected the world over. And we're proud, I certainly am proud, that somebody like Peter Harron is here to always be looking over my shoulder and helping to guide as we build out this. Oops, not to miss one. Then there's, of course, Jamaica Dry Dock, represented by Mr. Charlie Johnston and Kim Clark, who is also here. Again, a wealth of experience in Jamaica's shipping and logistics industries, and a wealth of experience in doing large projects. Then there's the Kluska Group. The Kluska Group out of Germany, well known worldwide for mobile ship repairs, particularly engines, and a global logistics conglomerate for supplies for what they say is everything a ship needs. So they supply stuff all over the world. Anything that a ship needs, they will have it. And just to bring the multinational flavor, it's not just Jamaica and Germany, it is also Turkey. Hatsan Shipyard out of Turkey is one of the most respected shipyards in the region. They build new ships, they build special ships, they do ship repairs, ship maintenance services, and they're also very, very well respected. Represented by a gentleman by the name of Mustafa Pepe, and he's my go-to every day for the technical side of developing a shipyard. So to our floating dry dock. The floating dry dock we're purchasing at a cost of almost $10 million US is shown here. This dock can lift, as I said, to lift that ship that is parked alongside the gypsum wharf. It can lift a ship up to 20,000 tons gross weight and 215 meter or over 700 feet long. And this will be brought into Jamaica by about the middle of this year, I should say, to be commissioned and get it into operation by the end of the year. Just to put it in perspective, when I visited and seen the size of the dock, and of course, when it comes to Jamaica, wait one, I had to make sure that we get our branding as Jamaica. It will then become known as Jam Dock 1, Jamaica's Dock 1, with the idea that we'll be having Jam Dock 2, 3, and possibly even further around as we go along. Can I cue up the video there, please? This is a short video that gives an overview, a quick overview, 30 seconds or so, of what the shipyard would look like. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much. I would now like to invite Mr. Peter Harron of the Harron and Partner Group, as well as Mr. Charlie Johnston of the Jamaica Dry Docking Group, Chairman and Vice Chairman, to make a few remarks. Please, sirs.
Most Honorable Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, dear ladies and gentlemen, I hope that all protocols are reserved. Some protest? No, I hope not. So then I can start with a small view backwards when I started my career here in the Caribbean, especially in Kingston, Jamaica. The whole thing started in the year 1995. Then we got a new vessel in Germany, a feeder vessel called Pampero. And when this proud vessel was delivered from the shipyard, there was no employment in Europe. So I found employment in Miami with a trade from Miami into the Caribbean. And funny enough, the main hub was Jamaica. Okay, there was a lot of reasons to visit Jamaica, and I was quite happy. The ship performed perfectly, no complaints, never. But after 3 years, I got a friendly letter from our charterers, Tropical Shipping in Miami. Dear Mr. Harron, this is to inform you that we cannot extend the time charter for your ship. Oh God, what we can do now? The problem is I don't know the region really good. And then I flew to Jamaica, and first of all flew to Jamaica and looked around where we can have employment for the ship. At that moment, I remember our agent in Jamaica, Mr. Andy Shawlemmer from Paris and Sia. And he told me, Peter, I have some crazy ideas. Maybe we can work on this. I think crazy ideas sounds nice. So what we can do? Okay, we can repositioning empty containers. I said, okay, how it works? I will show you. And then we start working. And the first cargo, you may believe it or not, was 8 empty containers on deck of our proud vessel. So we just brought them on the next place, discharged it, and go at anchor again, and we're waiting for the next cargo. But the next cargo came. After 2 days, there were already 10 empty containers plus 5 full containers. Oh, I was quite proud. And then, I will make a long story short, the cargo volume increased and increased. And I was quite happy about the results. And after 6 months, we were already break even with this funny system. But at that moment, when I was really happy with the outcome of the Pampero, I got the information that our second feeder ship in the Caribbean had a problem. The ship was, the ship was chartered out to an American company. This went bankrupt and redelivered the vessel together with a lot of unpaid invoices. So I have a next problem, but anyhow, we integrated this vessel also in the system. And then we went around from port to port, collecting containers and relocate them. And more business comes. And after a short while, after 3 years again, we were break even with both ships. And I was happy and proud. And then somebody approached me and said, Peter, do you have some more ships? Maybe 1, 2, 3 more, and we can enlarge the good feeder service. I said, why not? We have several ships. Okay, I brought them all into the Caribbean. But what I did not calculate was a situation where we can repair the ships when we are here in the we just heard, after 5 years, you have to go into the dry dock. Okay, there are several dry docks here in the Caribbean. I checked them, I tested them, and the outcome was really, I will say, lousy. So they were late, the quality of workship was a disaster, but on top of all, the invoices were sky high. So I checked, I said, well, I have to build my own shipyard together with partners from Europe and local partners. And then I went around to all the places here around the bay and looked for a good place for building a shipyard. I was in Port Royal, and I thought, that is a nice place, we can build a shipyard here. No, it's not possible, Mr. Hahn. There are mangroves, and there are turtles, and there are crocodiles. We cannot build a shipyard here. Okay, then go to the next place. No, sir, it's not possible. We cannot build a shipyard here. There are plants, there are birds, there are, I don't know, whatever. And finally, somebody told me, Peter, just go to Harbor Head. There's already a small shipyard. I can introduce you to the owner of this small shipyard. Maybe they can help you. Okay, I made an appointment, Mr. Charlie Johnston and Mr. Kim Clark, and we said, okay, we meet somewhere in the middle of nowhere, on the field. And the meeting place was, I told you, in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing, and the time was 11 o'clock in the morning. And I thought the Jamaicans are always a little bit late. So I took my time and came half an hour later. But the other gentleman said, well, Peter Harden comes from Germany. They are always on time. We have to be there. And that was our start. This misunderstanding was the only misunderstanding we have up to now today. Is it true, Charlie? Very true. Okay. Now, after we have 2 vessels in operations here, our friends from the ship liner service, for example, Simline was our best customer, and they asked me, Peter, do you have some more feeder ships? Okay, I have some. And more ships I sent to Jamaica with a problem where to repair the ships. And I told already this was a nightmare. And finally, I found a place together with Charlie Johnston here on Harbor Head. It was a long way, but now we are confident that we are through the bottleneck and everything runs well. We have fantastic partners here. We have a fantastic team. And I'm very confident that we go through and build this shipyard. Or, Mr. Johnson?
Very much so.
Okay, he confirmed. You are witness. Thank you very much. I wish you a good time.
Honorable Prime Minister, all protocols observed. I'm very much aware that we need to hear the Prime Minister speak soon, so I'll be very brief. I'd like to, first of all, thank Minister Vaz publicly for his assistance with helping us acquire this land out here at Harbor Head. We've been working on this thing for 20 years or more, and I reminded some people that if you ever watched a marathon race, when the marathon on the road is ended, you have to enter the stadium. So we have now entered the stadium. We have finished the road race and we are now in the stadium to finish the project. There are a number of people here that we want to thank And I think Bertie is going to do that at the end, so I won't do it right now. The thing that was missing all this time, two things, capital and expertise. Expertise in the repair of ships. Now, although Peter and I are in the shipping industry, he more than me, and Kim and others, we never repaired ships. So Peter went and found in Turkey a partner named Hatsan, and I'm sorry that they can't be here today. Hatsan in Istanbul are experts in repair, conversion, building of ships. We will only be doing repair here in Jamaica. But we are confident that we have gotten the right partner in the technical side that is going to give Martin and his team full support. And it's very, very important when we open our shipyard, whoever owns that first ship is confident that we are going to be able to repair it on time, finish it on time, and at the cost that we told them it was going to cost. That is what is going to bring back new people back into the shipyard, the expertise and confidence that we are doing it properly. Prime Minister, I believe, from what you saw on the screen, one floating dock is not going to be enough. But one floating dock can only do 35 ships in a year. We're going to need 2, 3, and we're going to need more yards. So that Bowden Harbor, you need to get ready to give me Bowden Harbor. But that has a few mangroves though. But it was a shipping port, and these are areas that are going to become part of our shipping industry in the future, I believe. So finally, I would like to say thank you very much to all the people and our shareholders who have had faith in us. You know, I see some of them here sitting, and thank you very, very much for participating. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Herron and Charlie Johnston, both of whom I've now grown to really look upon as two of my mentors, certainly in this field and as to what we're doing. So thank you again for that. I'd now like to invite the President and CEO of Sagicor Group Jamaica Limited, Mr. Christopher Zacco. Chris.
Thank you, Martin. Most Honorable Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Morning. Today we are all present to witness the launch of this historic facility, Jamaica's very own repair and maintenance shipyard, spearheaded by German Ship Repair Jamaica. Sagicor Group Jamaica, primarily through Sagicor Bank as lead arrangers and lead financiers to the tune of over 3 billion Jamaican dollars, is overjoyed to be a part of this momentous occasion as we work together with the equity partners to make this dream a reality. And I have to mention the chairman, the deputy chairman, Charlie, Kim, all the other shareholders, and I have to big up Seaf Caribbean Equity, who Sagicor are also investors in, major investors in, who are also equity partners in this project. This speaks to how confident we are that this new development will make a significant impact on the country's shipping industry while also contributing to our productive economy. Sagicor believes in this project, and we want all Jamaicans to share the vision of the stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big deal for Jamaica, and we want Kingston to have the leading ship repair and servicing port in the Caribbean. And the team spearheading this project, as you've heard, have some of the brightest minds in the industry. And I'm confident that we will achieve all that is planned and more. I would like to also congratulate Chauvel Johnson Cunningham, the CEO of Sagicor Bank, Mike Willisey, VP, and the entire team, who I believe are the top of commercial banking's game. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a reminder that no matter how long an idea may take to become reality, it is never too late to realize a vision. And this shipyard project will be one for the books and something every Jamaican should be proud of. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Christopher Zacco. Now for the moment we've been waiting for, it's my honor to now introduce the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. Prime Minister.
Thank you, Colonel Rickman, for your mastery of the ceremony so far. First of all, let me say that aside from representing myself, I'm also representing the Most Honorable Juliet Holness. She's not the Member of Parliament for this area, but for the adjoining constituency. But oftentimes she is called upon to do the work of the MP who is here. Mr. Philip Paulwell. So she sends her regards, and she is also very happy to have this major investment